In our second story, female genital mutilation comes into light. Here we speak to campaigners and families who deplore FGM with hope that Sudan one day will be free of this practice.
In a village somewhere in Sudan, campaigners are acting out a reality. A girl is about to be circumcised and celebrations are being held in her honor to mark the day. Women like Suroya Ibrahim, a child rights activist, was circumcised at the age of 7. She remembered her childhood pain during the delivery of her first child.
Although I had a normal delivery, I still remember my hysteric cries when I had my first child. I will never forget those moments. I suffered during my circumcision. After childbirth, the midwife wanted to circumcise me again, but I refused, and I told them my husband had already agreed that I should not be circumcised again.
Suroya has been involved in anti-circumcision campaigns and uses the death of 4-year-old Inam as a vivid example to the extremities of circumcision. Inam died 6 years ago after bleeding to death. Her death shocked her community, and campaigners are trying to change public opinion within conservative and traditional communities in Sudan as far as circumcision is concerned. They are vocalizing many unspoken feelings concerning female genital mutilation.
I have suffered during my married life. My husband understood my condition very much, and I think he was also a victim because he was not satisfied with our intimate relation.
There are about 140 million women and girls worldwide who have undergone circumcision, and human rights activists are campaigning to end this practice. Reports from the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) and the United Nations Population Fund (UNFPA) indicate that 3 million girls face circumcision every year in Africa. Sudan is no exception. 87% of all females have reportedly undergone circumcision. 4-year-old Inam was not a child long enough, like these children in Tuti Island, who can enjoy childhood games. At this kindergarten, the girls are made aware of the problems they would face if circumcised. Tuti Island, which is located at the confluence of the Blue and White Niles in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, is protecting its girl child by making safe zones free of circumcision. Though a large part of the community in Tuti still circumcise their girls, campaigns like the Tuti Free Zone of FGM have been signing up mothers against FGM since 2008. Iqbal Muhammad has been running door-to-door campaigns with the hope of doing away with FGM in her community.
Mothers also have an active role to initiate campaigns to eradicate FGM. In 2007, at a child graduation ceremony in a kindergarten, there were a number of mothers who proposed to form an anti-FGM alliance. The alliance of 23 mothers at the kindergarten.
Female genital mutilation or cutting is the partial or total removal of the external genitalia, undertaken for cultural reasons or non-medical reasons, often causing severe pain and sometimes resulting in prolonged bleeding, infection, infertility, and even death. In Sudan, this practice is almost always performed before a girl reaches puberty. During her younger days, 68-year-old Aisha says she was unable to challenge her mother and others against circumcision and could not protect her own daughter from the cut. For the sake of her granddaughter Zenjabel and others, she is now an active advocate in her community.
I object to the practice of FGM. I have only one girl, Hawaii here, and I had no intention to circumcise her. Elders like my mother, however, objected to this. She said that the girl must be circumcised, and I could not go against her will.
The circumcision of girls is not good at all. If circumcised, girls may become sick.
3 generations of the Aisha family now view FGM negatively, and they hope that their sentiments will help change the community's outlook. Many communities use circumcision to reduce sexual desires of women and girls. Yusuf Ul-Kuda, a scholar in Islam, says Islam does not encourage the practice.
Research on the issue of female genital mutilation in Muslim scripture, especially in the Sunnah, suggests that if it is indeed mentioned, then it is not clearly defined. If it is mentioned, it comes from an unauthentic or at best controversial source. If this remains a controversial issue, we therefore strongly reject the mutilation of any part of the human body, unless there is clear evidence from the scriptures sanctioning such action.
Sudanese laws do not criminalize FGM, but in states like South Kordofan, Al-Jadarif and Red Sea State, new laws that find the practice wrong are being followed. Ul-Kuda says that the law cannot be effective in changing social behavior unless there is dialogue and the issues are taught to communities.
The challenge ahead is to find legislation at the national level, and this requires political will. This is what we lack at the moment.
As campaigners go from door to door and street to street advocating for zones free of circumcision, alongside the need for stronger legislation, it is hoped that celebrations to mark the end of the cut will echo throughout Sudan and various other African countries, announcing the end of traditions which will allow women to walk free of this practice.